Hey, BassGeek here. It is December, it is wintertime, it is cold, and I love to cold water crank. And I'm going to show you how to do it with one of my favorite cold water crank baits. So we're going to talk about cranking in December, and I love to throw a crankbait this time of year. The conditions have to be right. And if you stay to the end, I will give you a link so that you can go watch a total breakdown of how to crank during the wintertime. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite individual crankbaits this time. We'll talk about the when, where, why, and how. I'll talk to you about rod setup, all that stuff. But I think this is one of the most overlooked and forgotten crankbaits on the market. All right, so first off, let's talk about the Bank and Creek bag. This comes out every 2 months. You can subscribe to it, or you can just order them. Now, they only do 300, and there's always custom colors and custom baits in this box from LureNet. So let's go over the November-December bag, and it's a multi-species bag. So it's great for you guys that are fishing, just fishing the riverbank or fishing around the pond. This bag comes in a waterproof bag, number one, that you're getting. And on top of that, you're gonna be able to go catch panfish like bluegill, any sort of brim, crappie, and bass along with this bag. Oh, and by the way, there is a 15% off all the time code. Check it out right here. Use that when you go to LureNet. Anytime, you'll get 15% off. Okay, let's check out what we've got in here to start with. We've got some of the Great Lakes. We've got some of the tube heads in 3/16. So if I'm a betting man, I'm guessing there's some tubes in here too. What do you know? These are some really cool tubes. We've caught a few fish on these this year. This is the 2.5-inch juvie crawl. This color is motor oil, and I believe this is something you can only get in the bag. Now, you can actually go buy this individual pack also. That's the great thing. But again, they only do a run of so many, so you better get there quick. I don't know if you've seen this in the last one, but Rebel has dropped some really cool matte series colors. This is the grasshopper or the crick hopper, great for creeks and streams. This is the fire cricket color. Now, like I said, me and Mike actually went out and caught a few crappie the other day. And when you're fishing around some laydowns and stuff, nothing like having some good bobbers. This is from Thiel, the foam floats. They are weighted. Gotta have you some crappie jigs. This is from Crappie Pro. These are in, I'm just gonna call them bubble gum. Next up, we've got the good old Rebel crawl. This is the wee crawfish. They come in several different sizes. This is the winter crawl color. This is a good bag. It's got a ton of stuff in here. Can't beat some Bobby Garland when you're talking about crappie fishing. This is the stroller, and this is in lights out. Another great color here from Bobby Garland. This is the Mo Glow, and it's in milk money. Now you get some stickers. This month there's a Bobby Garland, or this 2 months there's a Bobby Garland Bank and Creek sticker, and you get a discount on your next purchase. Oh, one other thing, check this bad boy out. This is the Raider from Rebel. That is citrus shad. And last but not least, this was my first ever jerkbait love right here. This is the Pro Smithwick Suspending Rogue. And I have caught a lot of bass on rogues and a lot of bass during the winter time. This is one of their new FX series colors. This is FX Blue. All right, so now I picked up a few other things, and I want to show you what I consider one of the best cold water crankbaits money can buy. By the way, geeks, make sure you check the link for bait covers down in the description. I get these off Amazon. They are incredible. I have used them for years, and they are half the cost of what everybody, you know, who gets them from the same place and charges twice for putting their name on them. Go check that out. So the crankbait I'm talking about comes in a few different sizes. For me, I love the 300 size. I mean, I'm fishing ultra clear water, I'm fishing Highlands reservoirs, but I can fish this super shallow and fish it all the way down 12-ish feet, we'll say, depending on the line. So this is one of my favorite baits, and this is the Bandit 300. Now they come in shallower sizes. The 200 is incredible, and the 100 of course too. I know you've heard my guy Tackle Junkie talk about them. I'm a 300 guy. They're going to go down to about 8 to 12 feet, and I picked up a few of these. I'll show you the colors. This is Crappie. This is Mad Cow. One of my favorite colors right here, Chartreuse Root Beer. And then this one, Brown Craw, Orange Belly, kind of reminds me of a spring craw color. Like it a lot. Now what I like about these things is they do have a nice round body and a round lip, and so they do have a nice wide wobble, but you're going to get these down, or you're going to crank them real slow and just let them wobble and peck that bottom. They get destroyed. So they're kind of like a subtler wigglewort or a subtler rock crawler. They are amazing. Now, I will tell you this, if you're going to get them down real deep, I like to use 8 or 10 pound test. I've got them on today my square bill rod, which not really the right rod, and these are incredible to throw on spinner rods. I threw them on spinner rods forever. This rod casts them pretty well, but I've got 12 pound test on it. Like I said, I like to throw these on 10 pound at the max. All right, speaking of line, let me show you. So this is a TFO tactical bass. Now, I'm pretty sure this has been replaced by the Taction. I'll put a link down in the description for that. They've upgraded some of the components, but I really like this rod, which is why I'm still using it, because it is great for square bills or these little baits, which are a little bit lighter. Now, like I said, the only thing about this whole setup is I wished I had 10 or 8 pound test. This is one of my favorite reels to throw light baits on, and this is the Custom Pro from Lew's. Now this rod is a 7'4". It is a cranking rod, which is what I like about this, because it's got a nice kind of moderate fast tip to it. Good for those trebles. It's still got a little bit of backbone. I like that 7'4". I can make a long cast. Now if you want accuracy, you might want to go down just a little bit to the 7-foot version. Of course, I've got this paired with K9 Pro 100 100% fluorocarbon. I like to be able to get it down there and feel every single little tick. Now, I will say this. This is where a good K9 fluoro would come in. Now, fluoro is not fluorocarbon, not Pro 100. It's not 100%. It's fluoro. So it is a co-poly, so it's got just enough stretch, but it's still super invisible. Again, 10% off. Go check that stuff out. By the way, I almost forgot to tell you, this little puppy right here hits brown fall crawl. Perfect time to be throwing it. Here's a little bonus tip for you. Something that I love to do because I have so many different crankbaits is make sure you take a little Sharpie and put the depth that they dive to, 8 to 12 feet, right under the throat. Don't put it on the bill because the bills tend to get beat up, as you can see on this one. Put it under the throat, and you can even get a little tricky with it. Put your little orange Sharpie or a little red Sharpie, give it a little extra color. Now, like I said earlier, be sure you stay till the end. I give you an in-depth winter cranking video that talks about this bait, talks about all the conditions, when, where, how, which baits to throw during the winter time. But let's talk about this one. Really, if I had one bait, maybe two, this is definitely in the top 2 when it comes to winter time for me, especially because I fish some clear lakes and it works so stinking well this time of year. And to crank, especially this time of year, you really got to pick the right situations. Now, we've got a little bit of shadow down through here. We got some rock, So this is a pretty good condition. I like a little bit of wind, to be honest with you, knowing that this lake is 5 to 8 foot clear right now. Still would like a little bit of wind. And that's the thing about cranking. Gotta have something to break it up, or I'd like for the water to be a little more stained. A little less than 3 feet, you're good to go as long as you go with natural colors. Now, winter cranking, when we talk about temperature, right now I'm on a largemouth lake, and these bass are going to be very picky. They're not going to move fast, so you're going to slow down. Even though this is a 6-8 to 1, I'm going to slow that reel down once I get it to the bottom and I know it's on bottom. And I'm just going to crawl it across all that rock you see down through there, all those stumps you see down through there, and around all those laydowns. I am going to stop and go. Stop and go is the retrieve of champions, guys, okay? So when you're reeling and you hit something, give it maybe 1 or 2 more cranks and then stop, because you want that erratic darting action, and then stop it and let it kind of float up. One of those 2 actions generally are going to get you a bite. Now, something that I always do is I start with my drag a little bit tight, but once I get there, I loosen it up. I don't trust drag. I don't think they make a good drag on a bait caster. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's a $500 reel. The drag tends to suck. So a lot of times when I'm fighting a fish, I'm engaging the thumb bar and I'm thumbing that bass. A lot of times that is the best way to fight. If I can engage it and they've got me locked up tight, I will give them just a couple of clicks of drag so that they can pull line a little freer. As far as the hook set goes, you're going to want that hook set to be kind of a 45 degree up, and just lay into them and then feel the fish, let the fish kind of do what it wants, because you do have it on treble hooks. Get it away from cover and bring it around the other side of the boat. As far as landing it, I hope you got a net. If it's smaller, yeah, sure, go ahead, and you can tell that it's hooked well, go ahead and boat hop it. You know, boat hop or die, as I always say. If not, use that net. Don't get treble hooks in your hand or your face or your arm or any sort of other body part. It sucks, as you've seen my short. So like I said, winter cranking is some of the funnest stuff that you can do. I love to go crank during the cold weather, especially when they're dropping it like you see here and the lake dirties up. Those clear water bass that are sight feeders get real stupid real fast. Other than that, make sure you go check out this video right here, because it is really going to break down in detail how to go be successful cranking for winter bass. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comments section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get the notifications when this video comes out. And as always, you geeks rock.